Hey everyone, my name is Penny Zanker, and it's time to reset. This podcast goes beyond just navigating change. It's about new ways of thinking about how you can approach challenges, how you can shift your mindset when needed, create some space and grace for yourself so that you can rethink, recharge, and reprioritize when and where needed. Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Thank you for hitting play and sharing this next episode with me. It's time to reset. Hello and welcome to Take Back Time. My name is Penny Zanker and I'm your host. And I am excited today to find more of a unique twist to what we normally talk about on this show. I have a special guest with us, Sinead Duffy. And she has been a consciousness coach for over 20 years. And she loves bringing people into a deeper state of consciousness for self-connection, goal setting, inner healing, and well-being. And of course, we all need that well-being right now. And she believes that smell is our forgotten superpower. And so we are going to talk about how smell can help us to be more focused, more self-connected, and be ultimately more productive. So Sinead, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Penny.
I forget, but I read somewhere that our senses are kind of the gateway to better connection and self-groundedness and everything. So tell us more about that and about smell and what smell means to you.
Sure. Thank you. So yes, senses in general could be considered a gateway, but obviously I have a favorite, which is the sense of smell. And what distinguishes that from the other four senses is that it has unfiltered access to the limbic brain, and the limbic brain determines a lot of how we're feeling at a lot of the time. And it has direct access, and it's the only one of the five senses that has direct access. And in some way, we kind of know this. We know bodily that smell changes how we feel instantly. It instantly transports us. So we know that in some sense, but it's not used consciously. It's not valued, and nobody's using it for that in this time.
They do once in a while. Have you ever, when somebody's selling their house, they put vanilla in their oven so that their house smells like cookies, because then it makes you feel like at home. So there are some hacks that people are doing that are more conscious with it, but I would agree with you that it's highly underutilized as where we could be using it.
Yeah, generally. And I mean, I know my sister did that when she was selling her house. And my mom was like, what are you doing that for? People know that old trick. And I was like, Mom, you're not understanding. It doesn't matter if people know, because it's pre-rational. So you can know all you know, but it'll affect you pre-rationally. And so people and marketers are using it for nefarious purpose, for like dark arts. But we can use it for what we want, for well-being. We know it transports us, changes how we feel, so we can use them as anchors and triggers for what we want to achieve in our lives, like goals and focus and all those great things that we want and need.
So fascinating. Back up a second. You said, what did you call it? Pre-consciousness? Pre-rational.
Yeah.
That's it. Because people are like, huh?
Yeah.
What is that? Just tell us briefly, because I do believe that's important for people to understand, right? With this direct connection and how it affects. So what is that? Pre-rational.
Yeah. So pre-rational is, our brain is so old that there was a time when we didn't have this beautiful thinking mind that we had, that we have now. We were a lot more basic way back. And if we actually look at the evolution of our species, scientists know that at one time, our brains were made up of over 50% smell receptors, because it was considered so vital to smell good food from bad, a mate, danger, all that kind of stuff. We really needed it for survival. So yeah, our sense of smell is older than our rationality. And it's even, and this is so cool, older than our sense of time.
Ooh.
Yeah, what about
so
that?
Cool. That is so cool.
It's basically a little time portal.
It's a time portal. What does that mean?
Well, it means that, and again, this experientially. So a lot of what I do when I'm teaching people, what I love is that you just see aha moments all over the place. When you smell something and you have an association of that with another time. And it's not like you go, oh, that really reminds me of my holiday in wherever with that beautiful night flowering jasmine. It's not like you just speak that and like in that rational part of your brain. Your whole body goes, wow. And your whole body has this physiological sense of being right back there because the sense of smell is so old. Actually, your body thinks it's in that space again. It recreates the same physiological state. You can see can be really valuable for, again, anchoring and triggering and feeling what you want to feel when you want to feel it.
Yeah, okay, that's what you mean. I thought when you said before the beginning of time, like I thought there was something even more esoteric there, like through a wormhole or something. But no, I get it. So it's an anchor back to a previous memory, what that smell means to us. It's fascinating. Makes total sense that people light candles, right? Because it makes them feel a certain way. Makes a lot of sense. So are there certain smells, and I'm sort of just know enough to be dangerous with a lot of little things, like, this one included. What kinds of smells can make us more focused when we want to be focused? Tell us different smells and what they can do for us.
Sure, I will do that. I got to, though, caveat that by saying I'm super non-prescriptive. I love people to open up their own sense of consciousness because you know a lot more than you know. You'll feel this yourself. So for focus, I bet I bet you got this. Stuff like mint, stuff like citruses, stuff like the uppies. And you knew that already. We know
that's why I said I know enough to be dangerous. I don't know if that's just me or if everybody knows that.
Generally, we lack confidence on what we know. I don't love to use these 7 oils for that. I love people to drop into their own sense of, well, what do you think is going to slow you down? It's going to be the frankincenses and the myrrhs and the slow oils that are resins. They just slow you down. You can feel it just even when you smell them,
Mm-hmm.
So people have this wisdom inside them that they don't know they have. So what I love doing is unlocking that, and then you'll feel it yourself. But generally the kind of uppy ones, like rosemary is a great one. Rosemary is just fantastic because it's both uplifting, but it's also super focusing. And it's also great with just kind of getting things done, things you got to get done. And it's great for memory also. Yeah, rosemary is one of my favorites, but any of the uppy ones.
I actually didn't know that one. So like you said, maybe people know the mints or the lavender, like some of the more, but rosemary, that's a new one for me for that. So I'm going to be looking for the rosemary.
Do it. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's great for your immune system also.
Right now, people are feeling burnt out. They're feeling exhausted, other than feeling more awake, right? Is there something for like, I don't know, inner healing? You know what I'm saying? You're shaking your head.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
yeah. 2 types of oils that I'd kind of go for that will help with resilience. And one is the big old trees, these big old beautiful trunks like cedar wood, cypress, these big old trees. You can just tell by looking at them, they're resilient. They've been through a lot. And what the plants do in nature, they're going to do in your nature because they perceive you as nature. Even if we don't perceive ourselves as nature, we're all part of nature, right? So they help you be resilient. And also plants and trees with super deep roots. Because if they've got deep roots, then they're going to be resilient, right? So there's one beautiful one called vetiver, which is a really humble grass that comes from India. It's like a reed. It's not one of these expensive jasmine type fragrances. It's quite a humble plant, but it grows super deep roots. It's grounding also. Everything that has super deep roots is grounding because that's just how it's molecularly built to look down toward the ground. And that's what it does in us.
Interesting. What was it called? Vetiver?
Vetiver, Vetiver, vetiver.
All right.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Right. I got to take some notes while we're talking here.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So how did you get into this? Why are you so passionate about this? Because it shows just a little, just saying.
It's so instant and so deep. And that's just such a great combination. For me, I just feel like it brings us back into this feeling of being part of nature again, which we really need for ourselves and our planet. So I went to India. I've been meditating and conscious training, both myself and others in consciousness for so long now. And I was in India doing deep meditation and I brought essential oils with me. Nothing to do with consciousness, purely for self-care because they're multifunctioning. So it's really handy just for the basics, tummy aches and various things. But while I was there in Vipassana, which is a very deep meditation, I smelt one of my oils and I just felt how it brought me, I call it a backstage pass to the meditative mind. It just instantly brought me to that space of meditation. I thought, whoa, wait a minute, this works. I looked into it, and there's not a single meditative tradition ever recorded that has not used smell. Everyone, they all do it.
Wow, that's interesting.
Isn't it? Right. So, yeah, I mean, 2 out of 3 wise men, right? 2 out of 3 wise men bought frankincense and myrrh. It's deep and effective and transportative and works on every level, from the very surface stuff to the very spiritual.
That's cool how you made that connection. So you were already into it, and it just made it that much more impactful by connecting your two worlds.
I was dabbling in it when I went to India, and I had this realization, this feeling, and I came back and I was teaching my students. And from then on, I always used oils, and they asked me to make them. I was making them up in an ad hoc way, as and when, and all that. And they said, look, will you properly make some blends, please? So I then spent 3 years sitting in cross-legged meditation, focused on the intentions of my yoga students, what they wanted, their goals, their wellness goals. And from that, I created a range of oils. So I have a beautiful range of oils.
That you created yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my babies. So they are stocked in stores all over the world now. So, yeah.
Congratulations. That's amazing. And I'm sure we'll have links on the show so that people can get access to them. Actually, I'll ask you that in a minute for that link. But I wanted to ask you a couple of quick questions. And I know we have a little bit of a shorter show. But what's your definition of productivity and why? Because everybody that I've interviewed has had a different definition, and I love hearing the nuances.
So my definition of productivity is being clear on what the objective is and what needs to be done. I'm kind of non-linear in this. I'm kind of like, that's what needs to get done. And it doesn't matter for me if you don't necessarily know the way to get there, as long as you're super clear. And that's the hard part, in what the final outcome looks like, feels like, tastes like, smells like, all the senses again. And then I'm a little bit of a loose on how you get there, because I'm a little bit of a manifester and a bit of a trust in the universe, and crazy stuff might come up that'll get you to that place. But what you really need, the doing is easy, but the holding the vision with such clarity that you can smell it and taste it, that's not easy. But I do a lot of work with oils and with breath work to get that clarity. And that's, for me, what matters.
I think I'm with you on that. I'm writing a new book around what I call reset moments. It's being clear what you want, whether it's in your relationships or it's at work, in your finances or your health, whatever area, but then having these reset moments along the way to realign us. But of course, you have to know where you're going. And that is really the hardest part. So I'm wondering, right, if I were to give reset moments a smell, being aware of when we get off track or things like that, what kind of smell would you put to it?
Usually, again, a little non-prescriptive. What I like people to do is I have a thing called a fragrumation. So you put together fragrance and an affirmation. So they drop into, whenever they get clarity on the outcome, to put a smell with that. I like to invite them to what feels like that. And I'll guide them a little bit, but they might often just get these kind of realizations of, it feels like it's a more grounding oil, or it feels like it's a real citrus oil or whatever. And then that they will use that for exactly their reset moments to just reconnect them on that path, bring them back to the path.
I love that. I think I'm going to work your work into that, because sometimes I'll tell people a word of intention, right? So it's very similar, but you're saying even more powerful than a word, because smell goes right into your nervous system and wakes you up to be present for what you want. So I love that. So I'm going to quote you. We'll connect afterwards. I wasn't even so prepared for how excited I'm going to be about this, but that's very cool. I'll definitely integrate that, and we'll figure out how to direct people in your direction, because I think that's super powerful to just help people to slow down and keep top of mind those things that are most important to them, because it's so easy for us today to get sidetracked.
And because it's this direct connection with the subconscious also. So when you smell that smell, because it's the subconscious that gets the stuff done at the end of the day, right? So when you smell that smell, it goes straight to the subconscious mind. And I've had the most incredible experiences where I've planted seeds and aligned them with the fragrance. And then when I'm literally doing something else, completely something else, I can feel that working, that happening. And it's almost because I've kept myself busy with something else. It's just happening in the subconscious level. So it's very powerful.
That's so cool. So we're wrapping up. What didn't I ask you that you absolutely need to share today that you haven't, if there is anything?
I guess really just the most important thing for me is that people would be open to valuing their sense of smell and inviting it into their life in an intentional way for getting stuff done, because instant and deep, it's a great combination.
Fantastic. And so give us the URL. We'll have it in the show notes, but just so it's spoken out so people can hear.
Yes, of course. So how to find me. And probably the easiest way is I've got a couple of URLs. Just launched a course called smellisyoursuperpower.com. Yeah, it was available. So that's probably the easiest way because it's easy to spell. My beautiful brand of oils is called Yoganda, which is a beautiful Sanskrit name meaning fragrance and the use of fragrance for mind, body wellness and manifesting these beautiful intentions. But the spelling is a little difficult. So it's Yogandha.
Gotcha. Well, wow. Thank you so much for being here. I feel like this 20 minutes together has probably is going to have a huge impact in changing my life of really bringing smell much more into my day to day. So thank you so much. I've been holding, I don't know if anyone else does this. So let me say thank you and then I'll close up the show. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for being here. What I was going to say is that maybe you're someone like me where I buy these candles, but I hold them and I don't use them because I don't know, I hold things that are special and they're exactly what we want to be using. So let's all make a commitment to bring smell in intentionally in our lives and let it do its work with its superpower. I'm super excited to put this into practice and I hope you all are as well. My name is Penny Zanker and this is Take Back Time. I'll see you in the next episode. Hey, thank you for spending this time with me. It really means a lot. If you're feeling a little off, distracted, overwhelmed, stuck, or just out of sync, remember that's your signal to reset. And that's all it takes, just recognizing one reset moment at a time. So stay tuned for more tips, tools, tricks, stories, strategies, all here on Time to Reset. We'll see you in the next episode.